everybody doing?
Awesome.
I am so happy to be here with each and every one of you all. I am excited to be in Washington, D.C. I haven't been in D.C. in probably over a year or so. I'm just in a space of gratitude. With my faith, all of you, I really want you to understand. I'm probably going to get teary-eyed and cry. That's cool. I love you all like family. Really, I consider you my family. Each and every one of you all have had a positive impact on my life, have helped me through situations, and helped me just be able to be myself and do what I'm here to do. And I feel like this is a gift to be able to share with you what Spirit shares with me. And to be in this space with this powerhouse of a woman right here. Goodness gracious. You better get ready. Goodness gracious, because she just sets it on fire every time that I talk to her. I would get off the phone and I'd just be like, what in the world is that? I was like, oh, what's about to break down now? What's about to shift? And we'd be remiss without giving homage to Patricia Patton. Come on, get in the camera, come on. Get up here. Tell everybody about yourself and what you do and what you're here promoting and what you got going on. Come on.
Oh, let's do this.
Okay. Awesome.
Well, anyway, I just thank you all for coming out. And I know, I don't know you, but I know each and one of you, everyone of you very personally, except for you, and we'll get together with that. But I met Tavon 4 years ago. We were trying to do something and start a fellowship.
Yeah.
And out of everybody, I only connected with him and somebody else. Everybody else went from the wayside.
Yeah.
And I started talking to him about my twin flame experience, and he was like, "What the hell is that?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just evolved from there. And then I heard Sharon on a podcast or something on the radio.
Well, I gotta tell, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I was terrified when I met Patty. Because I was with a group of people and I was getting ready to lead that group of people, and they had announced that she was an empath when she walked in the room. And she had this stern look on her face. I'm like, God, she's reading my thoughts. She's reading my thoughts. I was like, she's reading my thoughts. Yeah. And I was like, she's gonna know I'm leaving this group. And we sat about and laughed about it. I was so terrified of just reading my thoughts. Yeah.
Right. And it's so funny because I really wasn't aware of what the gifts that I have. I was able to connect people. I've been doing events since I was 2 years old, having slumber parties, just having parties, doing things, putting stuff together. I was a promoter in DC, doing my little thing or whatever. So and then I do nails. Even though I went to Howard, I have a degree in dental hygiene. I learned how to do nails before I came here. I'm from Los Angeles. And been doing nails for 33 years. And I realized that I have a healing gift. So outside of that, I heard Sharon speak. And I was like, shit. And I started talking to her. So then I said, y'all got to meet.
Yeah.
And this is where it is now. So, this is a beautiful space. I do my radio show here every Wednesday night, Truth to Power, from 6 to 7 p.m. It's all about empowerment and self-mastery. And this is what we're providing today on a deeper level, an esoteric level. And I hope you guys can really, really, really be able to get something from this, because these are some truly divine, I call them diviners. They have some really, truly beautiful gifts. So, peace and love.
Yeah.
All right.
So.
Well, before we begin, I would like us to do something. I want us to all stand. And I just want us to just go around the room with each other, just give hugs, because hugs give off so much powerful energy. And it's like, I think of it as getting $1 million, because what we're doing is we're shifting. So whatever you had when you walked in the door, we're kind of leaving it. And so what we're doing is we're shifting energy and transmuting energy. So that's all it takes, is just a hug, and it just does make a difference. You don't even have to speak the word, because our souls are here together for a purpose, for a reason. We're all in a divine purpose. We're all in different directions, but it's the same direction to the same venue, and it's ongoing, okay? So we're just gonna inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And then we're just gonna walk around and just give each other hugs. Okay, and you can say, I love you. Yeah. To meet you, love you. All right. Around getting another hey, love you. Love you.
I had to my shit go. Peace you. Love you too. Yeah, I get them all.
Love you. Hairstyle. Oh, that's second round. Sugar. I missed one. Oh, I got it.
I had to get comfortable because I feel like
That's right. You have pretty toes.
oh, purple.
See, we're matching with my toes too.
I got my two.
Yeah.
And it's good sometimes to walk barefoot because
Yeah.
what we're doing is
Grounding.
grounding. Yeah. So there's going to be a lot of energy flow. You might get triggered. You might get activated. You might want to go to the bathroom. You might have dreams. You might have visions. What else Spirit is saying? You might find yourself wanting to sleep longer or no sleep at all. You might find yourself not wanting to eat. And you might find yourself picking out. Just use that terminology. And it's okay. It's all a part of the process. And not to be in fear of it. Coming to a greater place of wisdom, with it. So I'm going to introduce myself. Sharon Andrea. I decided not to use my married last name. I'm divorced. And I was led by Spirit to keep my own identity. So I know we've been given names from birth and names from many lifetimes. And we've lost our way with all these names, labels, belief systems, cultural backgrounds, And there's nothing wrong with the names. It just depends on where you feel with it in your vibration. So certain things are just not fitting our vibration any longer because we're ascending. We're ascending into a higher state of consciousness. And where it takes us, it may not look the way we think it may look, may not feel what we expected how it's going to feel, but we're going there whether we like it or not. And either you choose to ascend while you're in the body or out of your body. So, I always give a joke and say, well, it's either you choose to do it now while you're in the body or you leave out of the body and say, oh, fuck, I got to come back again.
No, that's not happening. I'm in that incarnation.
Oh, damn it. I got so many messages when I was on my way to Maryland. Downloads upon downloads. It was just coming in. And so whatever, I didn't have any agenda put together. When Tevon came into it, he's like, I was like, neither do I. I said, I'm just led by Spirit. Yeah. So if you hear me speaking in tongues, if Tevon starts speaking in tongues, I'm just going to be activated because we connect. So I'm going to tell you how I met Patty. She told you how we ended up meeting each other through, it was a radio podcast that I was on. And then Tevon, it was through her Facebook Live. And he tuned into me without even have ever interacted with him. He knew what my path was and my journey was, and I was like, wow. And then when I heard him talking, I was like, oh my God, he sounds just like me. Oh my God, he speaks just like me. Oh my God, he connects just like me. And I said, oh, it feels so wonderful to know that I can connect to someone who speaks like me, who understands my journey without me speaking. That is what we're coming to, is where we can feel into each other's hearts without having to hear words, without having to say, oh, I just met him or her. We're reconnecting. We've all been together before. We've all been related before. You see? That's what it is. So we're really dismantling all those illusions of how we think we can be as a family, as one unit, one body, connecting through this Christ consciousness. You see? And we don't have to think we're doing it alone. We're doing it together. So you don't have to feel alone. But while we're doing it together, key thing is honoring each other through the process.
And I would say for me, I since December, I don't know if you're familiar with the ayahuasca. I went to have Mother Herb and Mother Earth. I had that experience, and it was the most beautiful experience I ever had. It was as if eternity was happening right in front of me. And literally I was under for, I believe, 7 hours. It felt like 10 minutes. And the universe just revealed to me herself. And I said herself for a reason. Herself. And talk to me and begin to show me where I was going. What I didn't know that my personal life was going to look like caca. Yeah. So I left that event feeling great, feeling high, like knowing in confidence of who and what I am, right? And confidence of what I'm here to do. Like Source dropped down and literally told me, like, how do you heal cancer? Bam. How do you do this? Bam. Why are you having this experience? Bam. My stepfather died and thank you, Spirit. He made his transition last month. They told me in December during ayahuasca he was going to transition. Why he was going to transition, how it was going to happen, and how I had to make peace with him. This is why I had to make peace with him. How to heal my dad relationship, how to heal my mother relationship, you know, what am I gifts for, and so on and so forth. And so it was like literally showed me the timeline of everything that was unfolding. I snapped back into physical reality. And then everything broke down. Friendships broke down. Relationship broke down. Atlanta broke down. Got injured. All of that stuff. But it's all in what Sharon was saying. I want you to understand none of it is real. None of it is real. You see me physically going through the challenge. But consciously, within me, it's not what's happening. What I'm doing is clearing. What I'm doing is shifting. What I'm doing is exposing all of me into this physical reality so I can believe it. Can I talk about that a little bit? See, a lot of us, when we tap into these mother herbs, when we tap into this twin flame, twin union relationship, we tap into so much of ourselves, it's almost overwhelming for our human consciousness. It's overwhelming because the brain likes to hold on to everything we have been given. It likes to hold on to our childhood trauma. It likes to hold on to what we experienced last week. It likes to hold on to everything. And what God has revealed to me is, Tavon, you're taking something that is so unconditional. You're taking something that is so sacred. You're taking something that is so divine and you're putting it in conditionality, called this human experience. You're putting it in time, space, and reality. And you're asking, why are the breakdowns happening? You are birthing, all of us are birthing something different. Something new that this planet has never seen before. And in order for us to walk in that, in order for us to be dynamically powerful in that, we have to go through all of that shit, that we have created. We have to see it. Because you know how the brain is. You know how physical reality is. We don't believe unless it's looking at us in the face. And so we create these experiences. And Sharon, she talks about it all the time. Well, you created it. You created it. You created it. And I was like, well, I don't want to say I created it. You know, I want to be a victim. I want to be a victim. Is it just me? I want to be a victim sometimes.
And that's where the child comes in, because the child is having a temper tantrum because we don't like what we see.
Oh,
wow.
Come on
now.
So
we get into a temper tantrum, and it always comes to healing that inner child wound.
Yes.
So not only we are holding on to things that the brain is carrying in frequency in a linear fashion, we are carrying things within the cellular parts of our bodies. From the soul. Through each incarnation, over and over again, or we have been repeating these cycles, and still it had to serve its purpose, because we started from the beginning where we're in the all-knowing space, and we desire to know ourselves through all these experiences. So give yourselves a pat on the back, because not every soul incarnates. Not every soul incarnates. So you're brave. You're brave to walk through this, and still. That part of the scripture says, yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear. This is as you're descending through that womb space, through that darkness. And as that baby, that infant comes out through the vagina, because it didn't come out no place else. It came out through the vagina. That's what I say. So therefore, we give honor to the mothers. We give honor to the feminine, to the female body. You see? And every culture, every race is going to be at the place where we give homage to mother, bringing back this feminine principle. You see? And as we descended in consciousness as well. We had to forget who we are so we can remember who we are. And the reason why I'm always being guided to say it, so you don't feel heavy, like, oh my God, look at what I'm going through, It's okay to honor that space. Don't forget to go back up and complete that circle of why Where did it start from? How can I heal from it? Are you upset because someone called you a name? Why? Where did it come from? It's because your parents called you names? Were you bullied at school? Were you abused? Were things taken from you? Did you dishonor yourself? You know, were you put in a corner all the time? It's all these things that we're healing, and it's important to remember. I know some people, they say you're learning something, but when I think of the words, because words carry vibration. We started out with words, and the words broke down into different cultures, and so on and so forth, so that way we can bring it down. Now we're coming to what? The heart, where we're communicating from the heart space. So in the meantime, back at the bat station, we're still coming through with the words. Now we have to be conscious of the words we speak, because it carries a vibration. So when I think of the words learning, how does it make you feel when you hear the word learn? How does it make you feel? Does it make you feel higher or lower? Higher. Makes you feel higher when you hear the word learn. You're learning something. Okay, and when you feel like you're awakening to something, how does that make you feel with that word? How does that higher? Okay, see, so it makes a difference, because when you hear the word learning, it makes you feel like you're being punished for something, and you're being rewarded, like how the word church, hey, you don't do this, you're gonna go to hell, or you're gonna go this. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're not aware of the word and the energy that it carries. Yeah. You see? So it's important to be mindful and conscious of what you speak every moment. Not where you're nitpicking and never saying, oh God, I gotta think about what I said. It takes time. And after a while, as you keep ascending to a higher and higher level of consciousness, you will feel it if it doesn't feel it. And you stop yourself right away. You don't even go there anymore. And that's why I even tell Tevon, I don't know what the word is. Because there's so much words that have been created that has caused confusion, chaos. How many times have you heard people getting killed over words?
A lot. Throughout history.
Killed because of
the
words.
The way they say it.
That too.
Like you said, the vibration behind it. You can mean something different. Because I love words. I play with words. And in music, in rap, they word play. And they play it in the English language. You can say many things in different ways. And it's how it comes across. So what I found out is I have to manage the energy on which I push words. Because I can mean something different than how it's coming across to you that it's being taken.
You know what I realized as a person that does channeling work and do a lot of hands-on healing, certain word phrases in certain if you study the etymology of words, they're actually curses. Literally, they were created to keep you in a particular consciousness.
Exactly.
To create it. One thing, and I did a whole teaching on the releasing of disease. Okay? And one of the things, if you ever hear me say, I will always say imbalance in the body temple. I would never say disease. And I asked the Spirit, I was guided from Spirit to do that. And I said, Spirit, why would you have me say that? They said, because when you connect to that word, if I say, cancer for teaching, cancer, I'm connecting to all the consciousness of cancer. I'm connecting to all the vibration of cancer. I'm connecting to all the etymology and the power of cancer. When I say imbalance, I'm acknowledging, right? So I'm acknowledging the physical, right? As above, so below. I'm acknowledging the physical. However, I'm also giving homage to all there is. You see what I'm saying? So I say, I'll give it, for example, I'll say, and Spirit had me work with a headache. Work small, and I teach people to start small and work way up. Don't just try to heal AIDS first. Let's get to a headache. And so I would have a headache. And Spirit said, I want you to heal it. I said, what? Okay, no Tylenol. I said, no. So they said, find gratitude for the experience. And I said, well, thank you, Spirit, for, I'm in gratitude for this imbalance that I'm feeling in my body temple. Okay, Spirit. So I'm moving to that state of gratitude. I'm acknowledging what I'm experiencing. I'm not saying, oh, they don't exist. I'm acknowledging. And the Spirit said, go and speak the divine principle. And so I would say, I'm 100% love and light in my physical body. And I would say it. And here's where we get up. Here's where the breakdown happens. Here's where the breakdown happens. If you've been practicing a principle for 30 million years and you add a new idea, the brain is not going to believe it. The brain is saying, how can you tell me that you're light and love if you've been vibrating to disharmony, dysfunction for 400,000 years? You have to say it until the brain moves into alignment with the truth. And that's where a lot of us break down. Keep saying it until the brain, and some things it took me 2 days, some things it took me a week, some things it took me a month. But I stand in principle. I stand in what I know. And so when the situations, and because we got to get it in our head. I don't know why people think when you go on this spiritual journey and you light a few candles and you go to all the conferences that you're not going to create reality. You are on earth. You are in this physical plane no matter how much you ascend into the collective ascends. We're going to create experiences. But we have to begin to apply that divine awareness to it. We have to begin to apply a higher knowing to it. And sometimes you got to sit to yourself and say, God, this is crazy. But I know what I know. And right now I feel peace. Right now I feel joy. And I play with this, let me know. I played with this when I talked about this when I was in the hospital. I was angry, and Spirit showed me, and I remember everything. I was angry at the situation that I had created. And I was feeling that vibration of anger. I was in a tonation of anger. And I went and checked my blood pressure. And my blood pressure shot up 40 points. 40 points above average. And the nurse looked at me and said, like I'm about to call the doctor. I said, give me 2 minutes. Give me 2 minutes. And in my head, peace, 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 peace,
That's
peace,
right.
peace. Joy, 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 joy. Love, 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 love. I'm moving into that truth. I'm moving to the higher frequency. And my point dropped 40 points. My blood pressure dropped.
Wow.
That is conscious living. That is taking these principles that we're talking about and becoming masters of them. I want people to become masters of human living. That's what I'm here to do. I want you to master your situations. If you ever have a reading with me, you know I'm always put it back on you. Okay, why'd you create it? Where is it coming from? Identify. And what we got to do, especially as African people, we cannot be afraid of standing in power and truth. If we continue to allow the illusion to dictate us, if we continue to allow other people's ideas and realities to dictate us, we will continue to be sick, separated, and in a confused state of consciousness. This is the time where Spirit is asking us. I would take the word asking away, demanding us to step up. Step up consciously. Step up mentally, psychologically, and say, I am that I am, that I am, and I stand in this principle now. And create what you're choosing to experience. I wasn't choosing to go to jail when I had my experience. I don't like jail.
That's right.
And I wasn't choosing that. And I said, Spirit, I'm going to have to shift this because I'm not choosing that experience.
Absolutely.
But we have that power. But if we continue to hold on to the beliefs, the ideas, the thoughts, and the perceptions that we don't have it, it is not real. You are literally source creation manifested in a human body.
That's right.
In a human vessel, we are source. And even Spirit was funny thing I love is you picked up on programming. I love talking to Spirit. I love talking to angels. They love to come talk to me. And I'm sorry I'm going to get real rowdy, dog. I talk to space beings too. And I was having a conversation with the angels. And they said, well, you know what, Tavon, you even chose your programming. I said, what?
That's right.
They said you chose your programming. You chose your own trauma.
We sat around a table.
Yes.
That's why Spirit showed me. We all had our meetings and say, hey, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that,
Yeah.
you're gonna fuck up. I'm keeping it real.
Yeah.
You're gonna kick my ass. You're gonna take away my money. Whatever label that you want to place. I want to add to what Tim, because when he's talking, I'm getting so much messages, and I'm gonna also tap into the dis-ease because I was having that conversation with Patty. Also. Think of the word dis-ease. It's when you're not at ease with something. And when you allow yourself to be at ease, even when they do it in the military, at ease. What it means, you're relaxed. See? You're at ease with life. You're at ease and you're going with that flow. So that you say, how can I get through this and be in my self-mastery when I'm facing this and I'm facing that? That's the part of alchemy. That's what your alchemy, that's what's turning into that crystalline diamond, whatever, those words that you use, you see? And so as you step into that present space, and you think of how we're sitting down, right? And when I started my journey, I remember when Spirit said, you gonna pray? How you gonna pray now? And I said, well, close your eyes. No, what about if you keep your eyes open? Can you see something different when you keep your eyes open? You sit. What if you stand? How do you feel when you stand? Don't you feel higher? Don't you feel taller? So I said, oh, that's why I got a truck, because I like to be higher. Oh, that's why I live up on a mountain, because I'm going higher. That's why when I go up the mountain, I get more messages. Rising, rising, rising. Why do you think as African Americans or Western, whatever, why we wear our hair? My beautician said, why do you always like your hair up in the ear? I said, I don't know. That's how I like it. And it started to come back to me. That's why. Think about all the habits, you know, the things that you do, and where is it coming from? In order to know thyself, what do you think you have to do to know yourself? Where do you think knowing yourself? Because I don't want to just where we're just talking. I want you to interact too.
I think you have to learn yourself too.
And remember.
Yeah.
And put the pieces together.
Remember.
Yes.
Reminding. We're
I want to ask the last
reminding.
thing. Our hair is in coils in circle. So the sun is a direct connection and a communication. So that's why a lot of times, you know, we want to connect to the sun, number 2, but it's a connection to the sun. So that's why we do wear, this is our crown. This is the 7th chakra. And we're getting and receiving information from above.
And that's why we wear crowns. And the crown can come in the form of wearing an actual physical crown, or you wear your hair high. You see? So whenever I did say to certain females, hey, what did you wear? They're like, oh no, I like my hair. It's like, okay. I'm not saying you're not going to receive something, but what if you want to receive something higher? And how we're connecting higher. So all I kept hearing, even when my aunt said to me, Sharon, I see you're being taken higher. And I'm like, oh, I received. Higher and higher and higher and higher. And that means as you're walking through that valley again, it doesn't matter what other people think. It doesn't matter what they perceive, because we're all in different perception, different levels. And that's where it lies, where your wisdom comes in, because you don't have to engage in the drama. Drama is going to play itself out no matter what. And when you're in the I am space, guess what happens? I am not shows up. Hey, I am not. Hey, I am not. You with this, you with that. Oh, you did this to me. Okay, what's showing up? Oh, I see. I am remembering myself. I'm stepping into my power. Oh, you're this and that. I don't have to receive it. You choose peace in that moment, and you just have to be in that place again of not giving any fucks. Because if you start to give fucks, then you start to dumb down yourself into that person's energetic field with how they feel about you, what they think of you, what they're projecting at you, what they're trying to be in control of you. You see? Key thing to remember that it must serve its place and purpose, because in this realm of where we are is duality. So that means that anything in this side, the other side is going to show up. Because, you know, I talk about in the book, if anyone doesn't know, I'm doing an audiobook for the planet called The Return of the Garden of Eden. It's all audio. It's not just me talking. I'm singing, I'm playing music. There's definitions I'm going into. It's a whole lot of stuff. And so I speak about the battery. You know, when the flashlight's going to work, you need both sides, because you can't have just the negative side in, the positive side out. You got to have it both together. But as we are integrating things, and whatever we have in this energetic field, because we're all walking energy, not just this third dimensional physical space, spirit, universe, source is through everything. When I say everything, there is no stone left unturned. That's how Spirit shows it to me. I am that I am that I am. I am this, I am that. I am left, I am right. I'm up and down. And so as we are moving through this dichotomy of this here, it's like everything that's coming into this polarized energy is coming back to its place. We are reclaiming our kingdom, queendom, however you want to call it. The queens rise first. The feminine energy comes in because it had been taken out. It had been distorted. Everything has been distorted. And so we can get all angry about all the things that have been distorted, what's happened throughout history. Okay, we understand, and we place it in that Akashic records, right? Where it's stored like a library. And we choose to shift out of that frequency, bring in that knowledge, the information that comes in, because that's how they do it on the other side. That's what Spirit showed me, that everything to what this new earth is templating is everything that exists on the other side. So I said to Spirit, I said, so when we get to the other side, it's not a physical place we're going. It's what we're recreating in this dimension, in the physical, 3D and 5D or 10D. I've been up to 40 dimensions. And I'm like, oh, this is too much. Because I seek to just keep going on. Yeah. It's like I'm just going on and on into all this information because we're walking data. We're the encyclopedia, the knowledge. It's within you. We don't have to seek it externally. Yeah. But if we need to collaborate and bring it together, what happens? We bring it in that unity.
Yeah. We are.
I am, we are.
Yeah, I want to talk about a principle because you bring up some good points and you're jogging my memory some of the conversations that I had with Source. So let's think about, when we say 3D, let's check on learning. 3D, everybody know what I'm talking about, right? Physical plane, right? And I'm talking about linear, I'm talking about time, space, and reality. Okay, so one of the things the Spirit had showed me one day, and I understood, actually, Patty was the first time I actually understood this concept. Looking into her union, Spirit was showing me how their lifetimes was playing out. But I was talking to Source one day, and they were showing me how things have happened throughout human history, right? And so then, to tie it into how genetics play into it, we're going to really break down a lot of stuff today. Times the genetics break into it. So Spirit was showing me how, actually, to go on you existing now, and you when creation is happening, and you and this planet, it's all happening simultaneously. Actually, how planets orbit around the sun and they have their own orbit, that's how our lives play out. That's how our realities play out. They're on a particular frequency level, and our soul being the sun. And so they're all orbiting in a different frequency in the time. And so when they collapse upon themselves, we are able to see it all. Now, this physical body is still in its limited form right now. As we continue to evolve the human body, we'll be able to perceive more of divine truths. And so one day, Spirit had me go into, y'all seen Black Panthers. And I think I talked about this, but it's very true. And so I go into the ancestral realms, a place I don't... Thank you. Yeah, so I go into the ancestral realms, and I'm greeted by my great grandmother, who I wasn't very fond of in life.
And I've told him that too.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Wow. I really didn't like her in life. Wow. And so even in the ancestral realm, I have an attitude. And I saw out all of my ancestors. They seen you. All right? And so she got snarky back with you. She said, and you still me. And I said, wow.
Yes.
Wow, so she knew.
Yeah.
Like a knowing.
Yeah, and she said, thank you for choosing your journey. Because you are literally healing this line of the family and this line of the family. Yes. And by you in the space that you hold in the physical, you're literally healing our past generation and our present generation. Yes. Because the blood that runs in you also runs in us. And what's happening with you and how you ascend and how you shift and how you heal and how you transmute on this earth, you're cleansing the whole entire line.
And it's in the soul frequency. It's not just the DNA.
Yeah. But I'm showing how it plays out in physical reality, so you can get it. How people say generational curse, generational things like that. Yeah. Yes. But it's also generational healing, generational shifting. You know, you can pass. Yeah.
Well, and it starts with the family. I'm so glad you said that.
Yeah, even my mom is on the other side. She's not here in the physical space. And I've had to heal through things with her while she's on the other side. I've had to heal through hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. I even told Patty 2 days ago, I'm in my bed sleeping, because I was telling you, remember I told you that where I'm living right now, I'm in that energy where the Underground Railroad is, like right there. And I'm sleeping and I'm in a trance-like sleep state and I'm hearing the door open and closing. And whenever that happens, I can feel when Spirit is in the room with me, and there's hundreds of them in there. And I'm like, what's going on? Why are you coming in and out? And they're saying that we're finally able to leave. Thank you. Wow. Just like that. Amazing. Just like that. Just like that.
Yeah. And you, go ahead.
No, I was going to say that sometimes when that happens, and after that I end up going to the bathroom because my body is processing out whatever old stuff, outdated stuff, pain that has happened through, out the lifetimes and millenniums with our ancestors. It also happens for those who are on the twin flame path, that you're processing with your twin with what is experienced through their family as well, not just your own. I woke up with pain in my arm, my right arm, and I'm like, why am I feeling? I didn't do anything. I didn't drop off the bed. Nothing happened. But I felt it and I knew. I tuned in and I said, oh, it's coming from my twin. See? So you're not crazy.
Yeah, that happened to me. And I thought that I was crazy, and I thought it was me. And all these influences of religion came in my mind. Even through my mother, and she had to call back and apologize to me because it was like the shame that I just put on myself. Like, I shouldn't have did this before marriage. I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have had this exchange. What was I thinking? Condemnation. All of that on myself. And I was literally had to be in water the whole day. Swimming. I had to be in the shower. I had to be in jacuzzi, the steam room, all day. And I was just under and just like going through convulsions and stuff. And then later I realized, because of other signs that he was my twin flame, I was like, well, did we just exchange energy where, where I feel like I was crying in the shower on the floor, just like crying uncontrollably for like 20 minutes. Girl, I could not stop.
Yeah, because you're processing through.
What you were saying. Right,
and sometimes you switch places, like you become the male and they become the female. I even had an episode happen when I was chanting and information was processing through me, and I went to take my bath, and all of a sudden all these wounds started coming up on my body. Like I saw these stabbing wounds, and I knew it was during a timeline that I was processing through. Another time I saw like a big dark hole, and I tuned in, I saw an arrow. Somebody threw an arrow and shot through my back. So it's all these different elements of things that some of you might start to experience. Not to be afraid and know that it may.
Respond? Yeah. How do we
I just be awareness. It's just being in awareness, because it didn't stay long. I took a picture of it because I have it posted in the. If you go into the Sharon, Andrea, the Return of the Garden of Eden, I put it in there. It's a lot of super natural things, stuff that happens during the course of this
but it's
path.
Nothing wrong. It's just
no, it's a part of the. It's
a
part of what you're shifting. What you're shifting, and the soul is processing through timelines of experiences. And what happens is many of us, or some of us, are going through loops of it that's repeating. And what it is that you bring it into its awareness and say, oh, that's what this is. Whereas, like, okay, for instance, Patty, she had spoken about it on one of her lives where she fell out the window. And I told her yesterday, and she mentioned it was months ago. I don't remember what month it was. And I said, Patty, I had an image of someone actually throwing you out a window. Someone just, have you ever felt like somebody just, and a lot of times when I do readings, I tell people from something that happened in the 1800s or the 1700s. Sometimes it goes way back to 3 BC, whatever.
Sometimes it goes back to the original.
The original part,
Like I had experience when I had ayahuasca where a particular friend of mine, well, ex-friend of mine, was literally mad at me before we even stepped foot in this human body. Wow. And she was literally holding this grudge against me since when we was just souls. Because she thought I abandoned her. And like literally all of that energy was playing out in this, and I keep saying, why is it all this resistance? What is all this drama and fake Facebook posts and this and that? We were literally playing out energy that existed before we stepped in time, space, and reality. And so the deeper you go, you really play out these timelines. And I think, to answer your point, I think it's sometimes if you try to shift it too quickly, you don't get what you're supposed to get out of it. I think sometimes.
Which could even be something as simple. Yes, it could be.
You do that, or is there another entity that might be pushing
No. You're doing all that transmuting. Yes, you're doing all that transmuting. And when I say to people, how do you address it and heal it when it's happening? The minute you start talking about it and you say, that's it starts. No, not manifesting. You're clearing it out. You're clearing it out, and you will feel the difference. You feel freer because you're able to identify. There's people who even incarnate and they have certain pains in their body. Like I've been able to pick up on people having certain pains in their back, and I said, "Do you ever feel like as if you fell on your back?" And it's because somebody pushed it. It's a lot of things happen to us that the body takes on the trauma when they incarnate, not realizing that you've taken on things from past experiences. That's why it's important to shift through things while you're in the body, because souls who are transitioning, if they did not clear out certain things that they need to heal, what do you think happens? They're taking it with them, and then we got to transmute it out with them and for them. You see how much it's involved here?
And then
see?
Into a very deep concept, and contrary to what people have ever taught, I know a lot of different readers. I'm not even focused on that. I'm just going to focus on spirit and say it through me. If you don't, I've dealt with a lot of souls on the other side, and if you don't hit certain things, you still have to process that. You still have to heal it, whether you have a body or you don't have a body. So when some people say like you go straight into the light, that's not the truth for every soul. If you haven't got the lessons, if you haven't got what you're supposed to, it's like, I believe that's what people believe what purgatory is. It's really just playing out lessons and realities over and over again.
And it depends on how much trauma the soul has. Because like, say for instance, Joan of Arc, I was told that in human years, what we call maybe 20 years, she was still in a sleep state, like comatose state, because it was very traumatic how she transitioned. She was burned at the stake. Many of us have gone through that type of...
Yeah, I got burned a couple times.
You know, I keep seeing myself thrown off of bridges, thrown out of windows.
They killed me.
Definitely not living past the age of 34, 35.
Yeah.
Because as soon as I start speaking, boom, bitch, you out of here.
They did that to me too.
Oh,
yes.
Are
Yes.
you serious?
Serious.
Yeah.
I always see myself running all the time. And I was telling my kids, we were reminiscing on stuff, and I said, what was the most scariest moment you witnessed with me, you know, being with my mother? I said, was it when I tried to jump over the fence, when they were acting me back for the car? And I was like, y'all not getting this car. That's right. And I just remembered myself running like when I was Nefertiti, and I was running, and I hid in the... It's like we play out these energies.
Yeah.
You see? And then you can now say, I am no longer running. I'm not a victim of this. I'm taking back my power. And also, Source wants us to know we do not have to be afraid to be ourselves. We are free to step into that space of who we are. We don't have to be in fear of being burned, maimed, killed, tortured. I had so much images of Tevon when he was tortured, placed in a dark dungeon place with shackles on his feet and everything, and I had to work through with him to help him to release it, because what happens is when we're not releasing, and it's not punishment, what happens is certain people will come into your space and they're going to be coming at you because it's that part of your soul that's bringing the experience to you, so you can now heal it. You see? So you can now face yourself, so you can now work through this, so that way as you work through it, your soul is now saying, oh, now I can come in more into this body that I chose, so I can be my grandest version of myself, how I show up in this third dimensional space. See?
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, and it's now we get into some deep stuff now, and I think it's really important to not, if you're not having those experiences, that's fine. Okay? It's not, you'll get to that point. But when we talking about soul level clearing and healing, right? We are literally going beyond the physical, and we're processing in the physical. But we get into the core of the soul, if you get what I'm saying. And this is what anybody that's having a divine journey, relationship journey, you're gonna go through this. You're gonna go through this, because all those timelines, what Spirit show me is like collapsing upon themselves. Yeah. And so all of that energy, all of those things, and you're ever like, okay, why is this happening now? Okay, this ain't even, like you said, this ain't even my stuff that I'm processing right now. This is
the interchange.
Especially when it's random. Like, say you could be like, oh, I feel good today. All of a sudden, like, oh shit, I feel so good.
Yeah, I hate that.
And you start getting all angry, and you're wondering, why am I feeling this? That's because it's coming from them. Yeah. It's coming from them.
Oh, wow.
So you don't think you're crazy. No,
you're literally one soul.
You're just one soul. You're just one soul that's living out the experience in two different bodies.
Yeah.
So were you doing that before you connected? Before you saw the person?
I didn't realize. When I realized of my journey, like when my twin found me, it was June 6th. And I didn't know, I knew there was something going on, and I found it so fascinating, because when I went to his apartment, I was like, Dad, he has the same things I have. Dad, he has this. I mean, all the way to the Bahamas, and he has the same candle thing that I got. So he does the same things I do. That's why it's all about you. They're acting out how you feel. They're doing things how you feel. And that's why I try to tell, especially those who are embodying the feminine energy, be aware of the fact it's all coming from you. All of it. They're another version to you. They're acting out everything that you've experienced through all the lifetimes that you've gathered up in data, and now we're reversing the cycle, so we're coming back to ourselves and healing through all the things that we've gathered up with all these experiences. Because, you know, like I said, when you take it even higher, and I know we can sound kind of high-tech, but Spirit said, I can't dumb it down anymore. I just can't. So you can always go back and review and listen to it again, because I've reviewed myself with things, and I was like, oh, wow, and you get something more, because everything that happens through us, not to us, is in layers. You go through layers and layers of this. I'm not just now getting all of this. Just now, I had it when I listen to myself. I still say the same things I do now as I did then, but the experience I had 2 years ago, I'm at a different level. Even though I said the same thing, it's like even when was it you that reposted that? Said, okay, honey, thank you, because that was spirit. I was listening to it while someone. I was like, wow, oh wow, because it has to do with relationships I was talking about. And spirit has me talking about, and I say to anyone, if you hear whatever coming out of my mouth at the time, I'm not getting into my head with it. The Holy Spirit takes over my body, and I just gotta speak it. I gotta speak it. It just came. And the mere fact that no coincidence that it had to do with the Leo season leaving, and then we're in the Virgo season. And what I realized, I said again, is that Mars today is going forward. The full moon is in Pisces, and so my moon is in Pisces, so I see through the energy. We're seeing things more clearer. Where the veil is thinner, all things are starting to come forth, and nothing is hidden anymore. So there's no need to hide.
He's going to tell me his whole background. That's not what
he won't even have to tell you, because you feel it. You already know. You feel like you're home again. You're home. You're home to yourself. And it's reflecting externally. You see? That's how it works. And the more you remember that, what happens? The easier you feel. The more at peace you become with it, that you're all one. And the union itself is not just a representation of you with who you're connected to, but it's also your connection to God. Your connection to source, your connection to them. It has never left. It's just that we had to, what did I say? We got to plug in back ourselves again in that outlet. Because if you have something here, if I didn't have this plugged in or whatever plugged in, it's not going to have any power, right? I'm just getting this now. So when you plug it in, what happens? You get your power back. You get your power back. How much power do you want to remember? You're not getting it. You always had it. You know when they say with Dorothy, you click your heels and you always was home? That's what it feels like. And then there's moments when you feel all this power, right? And then all of a sudden some shit happens again, like, oh fuck, and you just feel so heavy again. You know?
Is that the coming back down to 3D?
It's because it's integrating. Because as it's integrating, then what happens is stuff that's not serving the body, it starts to move out. And it's important to remember that as you're going through these changes, right? Because remember, we're also bringing in DNA that's coming from, I'm going to get high tech now, it's coming through the planet Sirius. You know, your galactic family is going to start, but they've been visiting me quite often. They've been coming in with, like I'm hearing this thing, and it's coming through into my soul. You're feeding through your soul again because you're back online. And as you continue to ascend, you're going to start to feel it. And it's still going to happen even if you're not aware. Because you're bringing the unconscious into that conscious. You're making yourself be aware from a soul, body. Your soul is looking at, some of you are going to probably have it already if you haven't. Where you're going to see your soul, and if you ever see how huge your soul is. You know how huge all of us together in this room what this is like? You know that part that says we're two or more gathered? How about if it's just one and two? It doesn't matter. It's huge. And it's when you remember yourself as grand to who you are, fuck everything else. Because it's gonna happen. All you have to do is what? Say the word, feel into that energy with the words you speak, and therefore it is manifested. The same powers that were given to you from creation, the same powers you have now, you just got to remember yourself.
And I want to talk about, though, how, this is why I like to talk about, I talk about the brain a lot because it plays such an important role for us physically manifesting. And this is a lot of times where I go through if I'm going to a very traumatic experience, and first I'm going to figure out, okay, what am I healing? What am I bringing to myself? And then when I step into the divine principle, I'm not listening to the thoughts that I'm having. I'm tapping into that heart space. I'm tapping into that solar plexus, because when I tap into those areas, I'm tapping into the infinite power. Because the brain could be an idea that you heard. This is another thing that came to me through the ayahuasca. It could be an idea that somebody said in 3rd grade. It could be an idea that somebody said to you a long time ago, and you're holding. And if you hold on and you vibrate to that idea, you'll begin to experience it. And so I have to say, you know what? I'll talk to my brain all the time. I said, you know what, brain? Forget that. Forget that. I am that I am that I am that I am. I am that I am that I am that I am. I am that I am that I am that I am. I am. Oh, we clicked in. We locked in. We plugged in. power source. Shift, 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 shift. You shift it, you shift.
Can I say something right there?
Sure.
After her, can you just explain to them? I don't know if you did what ayahuasca is.
Oh,
but
okay.
just after Cheryl, this is Cheryl Neal. This is my very good friend.
Hey.
Greetings.
She is an astrologist,
No, I'm not an
astrologer, and a numerologist.
Rologist.
Just
Yeah, I'm gonna
jerk.
get to the
But
numbers.
anyway, she does.
I'm sure about it. I have a comment. Mars goes direct actually on Monday.
Oh, it's Monday. Okay, but you know what though? I know sometimes when they place it on the calendar, like for me, the energy starts to happen even before it's actually the actual calendar
that's
date.
what happened with me.
It's just to be an awareness of it and what is happening because our body responds to the planets.
Yeah, the retrograde that happens to me.
Yeah.
It was before the
Everything, the Mercury, the Mars, everything, your body, and that's why it's important to understand and to connect to what is happening astrologically because, as a matter of fact, every second of the day, something is aspecting to do with yourself and your journey, even in conjunction to your twin or your complement, and then to you and I and all of us being here, you see? And so everything is like, you think of something that's in a fast motion, and then it's in slow motion. And so fast and slow is coming together, and it's just constantly synchronizing. And then what we're doing is we're creating sacred geometry. What numbers did you see today? Anybody have any signs, messages?
I always have 7. It's my life.
Yep, 7 is the soul monad for all of us here. 7. Patty and I saw 17 like crazy. At least she's like, you see everything. and when I went to get the food, I saw 4, 4, 4, 4, 4. So that's just the angels and all the quadrants coming together. The elements, fire, air, water. See?
Wow.
So it all comes together. It can feel like it's too much. But guess what? You are the creme de la creme.
Yeah. And I want you said something about we said something about oneness and unions and I'm gonna say and when your brain, I'm telling you, when your brain locks into the idea of oneness, it is so powerful. Like y'all know we hit each other up. I tell people all the time, you don't even gotta tell me what's going on. You can't even lie to me because I can just read your thoughts. Like, I just lock in and read all your thoughts and then be like, okay, that's what I need to know. But because we're not separate.
Not separate.
We're not really separate from one another. That's an idea that we have held on to. That's a belief pattern. We all come from one source. One creator, and when that brain locks into that, and when that brain knows, and it can also be I don't want to use the word, it can also be something that saves you from situations. You see what I'm saying?
You gotta rightly divide away that program. You see that. It's what it is. Because I've had people tell me we're all one, but they're really talking about culturally the program. Black people are all, and I'm like, no, I wouldn't talk like that.
We ain't talking about that.
But when you take that away and it's just soul, you're right.
I mean, think of the Matrix, the movie The Matrix, the first one, Neo, when he said, you're the one, right? You're the one. And when he was being, I would say, not tested, but they were grooming him. They were getting him prepared for him to remember. Because remember, no matter how much information they gave him, he had to remember himself as being the one.
Yes.
And then when they said it, they said, he knows. She knows, you know, you feel it, I know, I remember, right? And when they took him and he was walking on the sidewalk when you're in Manhattan, everybody walking around looking all stiff and, stuff like that, he had to remember himself and not think that he's going to fall down into the thing. You see what I'm saying? And what's really real. So these illusions were still put in place as programs for us to still now be awakened more and more, and you're gonna keep going through. And when you feel and know the truth, you don't need anybody to convince you because you're gonna feel it. So you don't have to knock yourself out trying to explain to anyone. You know how wonderful it is when someone just comes up to me and say, "Hey, so and so." I'm like, "Oh shit, yes," and you just get it, and it's like everybody around you doesn't even matter. You feel like you're in a whole different space, but it's not where we're separating from the ones who may not be speaking on stuff, because everyone can you imagine if we all were awakening at the same time, how chaotic that would be? It would be so chaotic. And so, you see, as you think about those of us, again, who are on the twin flame path, because I know it's on your mind, like, still, what is this? What does this mean? It's crazy. Is this my imagination? Is this ever going to end? How does it end? Oh, the plot thickens. Is this for real? Is this my twin? Is that really happening? Ooh, is this a false fist? No. You see, so I know that.
So that's the ego too playing itself out.
Yeah, and it has to. It's natural. It's natural to feel angry about it.
Yeah.
It's natural to feel, annoyed. It's natural to feel like you've had enough. You know what I mean? And remember, as we continue to remember ourselves, the key thing is remember that we're becoming diamonds in the crust.
Yeah.
And to get to that diamond, we gotta chisel through all of that. So if you find yourself feeling like, why is this in such separation? How it looks to the, because they said the mind can perceive, but the heart is conceiving something.
Yeah.
You see? And so what we're doing is we're coming back into that space of pure, keywords, pure, unconditional love. And yes, when they said, is there really a Santa Claus? Yes, there is. Is there really this and this? Yes. It's everything. It's everything put together. The key is balancing everything. When you go one side with one thing, like if you're tuning into yourself, don't forget to go back to your counterpart, what's happening. Because if you're saying, I'm just on this by myself, and I can do all bad by myself, and I'm single now, and I got independent, nothing wrong with that. But remember, there is always something. That's why, because I've studied this, and I said, there's always something missing. There's something missing, and you feel it in your heart.
Yeah.
And even if we say, well, okay, so we're connected to each other whether we're in the same physical space or not. So there's still a time when we still want to come together in that physical space, where we want to be in a group setting, where you want to be by myself. I've had those months like, I just love my own company, but okay, time to be with the kids. And I was like, bye, you're not taking me? No, bye, see you. The balance, again, the balance of everything. Have some fun too. It's not, you don't have to take it all serious.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Laugh as much as you can.
Yeah.
Cry if you have to. But when you're more in a space of laughter, all the time, even my daughter looked at me and she's like, "Oh, laughing at everything." I said, well, that's why I look and feel how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Because you get to choose in that moment, even during the course of what you call the insanity.
And it raises your vibration.
Yes.
Point blank period. It raises your laughter, joy, happiness, raises your vibration.
Yes.
And look at the crazy light. Man, I'm a powerful creator. I'm like, man, I created some caca. Boy.
Right. Yep.
It also draws other souls attached to you.
Yeah.
Like soulmates or like other people that are bringing that may need you.
Yes.
To have that high vibration.
And it's funny, and it shifts like, I was like, a situation I went through, and so after I had surgery, I like telling stories when I teach. After I had story, I wish sometimes like people would think these stories are fake, but they're so real. Like I literally had these experiences. So the officers come in, and y'all heard my story, and they say, "Mr. Powell, you're under arrest." I'm thinking, I just had a 6-hour surgery, and so they're gonna and I said, "Okay, Spirit, how do I raise this frequency? How do I shift this? Because I'm choosing the experience other than prison. I'm just choosing something different." And so Spirit said, "Well, call them your angels." My angels? They put the
They're in disguise. They're in disguise.
Shifting the shit.
But it raised the vibration.
That's right.
Every time somebody mentioned them, I said, "Oh, they're my angels. Oh, they're my guardians. Oh, they're my protectors."
How you respond. That's the key thing. How do you respond to what is happening?
And it shifted. First of all, he handed my cell phone back. Here's your cell phone back. I said, "Oh, yeah, I got my cell phone." And he came to me and said, "Hey, Mr. Powell, you're no longer under arrest. You have a good time, a good day." But I shifted the frequency. I could have went in there and said, "Oh, hell, the man gonna get me. Oh, they gonna lock me up. Oh, he got me. Yeah, oh, Lord, woe is me. I better call my mom. I better call my daddy. Somebody gonna have to bail me out." But I went inside of me. First, I asked guidance for guidance.
Yes.
I asked Spirit, how can I shift this? You see? And then I was able to be silent and listen.
And isn't that the key word that's in the scripture? Be still and
know
that I am God.
Yeah.
Who do you think God is?
Yeah.
Omnipresent.
Always.
Always.
Everywhere.
Everywhere in
And
all
everything.
things.
Omnipotent.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Because you see, in the moment of what you're experiencing, again, in that moment, you got to choose.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you responded by saying, you know what, even though I'm laying up in the bed with the crutches and whatever, I'm in the pain, I am that I am, even though I'm in this physical space of pain and what I've been feeling and what has happened through me, not to me.
Yes.
And in that moment of how I felt I am, the officers responded to his I am.
Yeah.
You see? And that's what changes the world. That's what we're here for, regardless of the title of the journey. You see? And then that makes that paves the way for those who are also starting to awaken to this journey. And in each moment you can choose peace, right? And then there's cases where you're gonna do something masculine, and then there's times when you're gonna receive and connect to your intuition, feminine. And we're all bringing ourselves to that space of balancing all of it together. And it could be quite a trek, but you can do it. If I can do it with 5 children, I can do it. Oh my goodness.
Yes. You had a question?
Kind of, when do you know, with balancing your masculine and feminine, when do you know to sit back as opposed to taking action? Like, how do you
like when you feel like you've done enough and there is no other options left, then you know it's time to surrender. When you've done what you could do. Because then once you start feeling like you've done what you need to do, and then all of a sudden you feel like there's an opposition and you tried everything, then it's time to be still, come into that knowing space and say, okay, what, and allow spirit to communicate with you. Because it's in the moment of now is when you're receiving the messages. And that means you're not going to turn to a book, you're not going to turn to the internet, you're not going to turn to calling on mommy, daddy, and guru, whatever, whoever. You see?
You can call me, I will. You can call me.
Yeah, I mean, that's different. You need when you really feel like you want to connect the dots. You know what I mean? And I can tell you this: you will not be let down.
No.
It's like spirit takes care of the things for you ahead of time, even before you know when it's gonna happen.
And that's but see for me, I'm sorry, did I cut you off?
No.
But for me, I'm in that space of surrender, and it's just
It's
like
a lot of surrendering.
Spirit, wherever we gonna be at, whoever's gonna be there, however, it's just gonna happen. You see what I'm saying? And I'm learning like it's so much smoother that way. It's just okay. And I said, okay, Spirit, obviously this is no longer my life. All right. I'm obviously on this journey, and I'm obviously out here to teach and heal. So where we going today? Who we connected to today? Like where we doing today? You know, and it's just I just embrace it, because when I go the opposite direction, I just create more confusion and chaos and separation for myself, and I just go with the flow and allow. And like she said, Spirit always will prepare a place for you. Always. And opportunities will come out of nowhere, just because you move into alignment. Oh, we want you here. Okay. Oh, I want you to do this. Oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But and I think, and this is where Spirit has been pressing me, and I've been talking about it on my live videos and my sessions. We have to remember our dreams and visions again. That we have to remember the deep truths and realities that are inside of us that are ready to come up to the surface and give birth.
And that means you're aligning with your passion, aligning with your joy. So if you know you're in a situation where you're working, it's not about working to make money. Remember what I said in the audio video? It's about manifesting. Now we can get into manifestation. What we desiring, and it's showing up in creation. Because when Source started out, says, I am creating water, bam, here it is. I am this, bam, here it is. It's the same power that you have. We are the microcosmic aspect of the macrocosm of this entire creative space.
So then it becomes what it looks like when it manifests in the physical. Because I think sometimes
that's the thing not to hold on to is how you think it's going to manifest. It's just knowing that it is manifesting. Because I will never forget when I had my connection with Archangel Gabriel. He's my top-notch angel. Oh my God. And with Archangel Gabriel.
Oh, Gabriel.
And when I didn't know what was going to happen when I was let go of my job and I had my 2 kids and I didn't want to go through the nightmare of babysitting stuff, and I had just had a mortgage, husband, you know, the typical familiar thing. And I didn't know what to do because I knew I had to stay home. I couldn't go back, and I was trying to get back to work, and they kept denying. I said, nope, you can't, because I was injured in a car accident, and I had to surrender. And I said, well, what am I going to do? Because I'm the type of person, I like to keep busy. I like to be doing it. That's that masculine, you know, I got to make money, I got bills to pay, da-da-da. Right. And so when I had my conversation, and he said to me, why don't you do medical billing? I said, yeah, but the competition is high. He said, well, you're not the competition. You're you.
There you go.
Yes. And that shifted me immediately.
Yeah.
And it took some time, but guess what? It still happened. And I kept going at it and going at it. And I'll never forget when the man said to me, Sharon, you're so tenacious. And I was like, I don't know what that word is, but it sounds more sophisticated. So to me, it felt like I'm persistent, but I'm not pushy.
Yeah.
Right? And I stayed in that space again of what I'm creating and not what someone else was telling me. Like my ex was like, oh, it's never going to work. Oh, it's never work. Nothing works out. I stayed steadfast, you see, on what I was creating. And so therefore, as I continued on that path of who I was becoming, because I let go of how things should be, and that I was manifesting something that no one has ever done before.
Yes, let's talk about that. Something that no one has done before.
Never done before.
Yeah.
You see? Yeah. And therefore it is here because I became it. I became one with it. I connected to it. You see? And I didn't allow myself to be distracted about what someone else thinks how it should be.
Yeah. And that's word. And another thing about, I always tell people too, and in Spirit later, I taught a class in Atlanta on this. It's one thing to create and sustain and maintain, to create something in physical reality, and it's another thing to sustain it, right?
Yes.
Okay. So, and again, and I have to talk about the brain. If we didn't have one, we would have a much simpler process, but here we on Earth.
Right.
And if you can't, if you can't manifest, if it's not a reality for you to manifest $5, your brain is not going to bring 5 million.
Yes. That's right.
You got to, and that's why I say start with a headache before you heal cancer. Heal the headache. Yeah. It's the same thing with the money. Manifest.
Heal the thoughts.
I remember one day I said, Spirit, I'm laying on the floor. I said, you know what, Spirit? Rents due, need a new phone crack.
Yep.
Laying on the floor, I am that I am that I am. Come. Come. But I've already manifested, and somebody sent me $700. But you know what I'm saying? I practice with getting $1 first, $5. You see what I'm saying? And you're working that principle. You're working the principle, and so the more you work it, the more you believe it, the greater you can.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, people say, well, I want to be on the Ed Sullivan, oh, that's old school, but I want to be on this show, that show. Well, can you do Facebook Live first? Can you do this first? Can you build in your own community? Yeah, you want to be this great person, but can you got in your brain, and as you grow, and one of the things the Spirit also has revealed to me, I'm not going to send you when you're not prepared.
Exactly. And you're not going to receive if you're not ready to receive it.
So I have to take you on a step where you healing and you're letting go and you surrendering. And that's a lot. Let's get back to the relationship. That's why a lot of people are in separation, because that journey requires so much self-healing, so much self-work, so much releasing work, so much surrender that you can't, it would be overwhelming for you to be physically present with that person all the time. It would literally like...
Yeah, but every time I came into contact with my divine complement, something always shifted. Broke down and shifted.
Yes, right.
And I knew it.
Or even going to a higher level, like
but even, I had to go through going to a higher level and shifting at the same time. Meaning I was crying, and laughing, and joy, and sadness, pain, all of it at the same time. And I did not attack back and say, you, this, that. No. I understood and I understood what was really happening. What is really happening here? And I say to people, and they say, but this is not happening. When am I going to see her? When am I going to see him? I've had males too that they're still, feeling tortured and stuff like that. And I said to them, I said, would you prefer to go to be on a path where you're coming with this person and you're still in all of this pain and this harmony, or are you choosing, keyword, are you choosing harmony? We're coming to that place of harmony.
And a lot of people have to go within to find that. Like Patty kept
and sometimes you think you healed and sometimes you think you healed enough. I personally said, oh my God, I healed enough. And then something else comes up again. Yes, Patty. Yes, darling.
I go within whenever they
for people who are not familiar or not experienced this twin flame journey, because this is not for everyone. And it's not for everyone in this lifetime. Would you agree with that?
Well, not everyone incarnates into a twin flame path.
Right.
And
so there are people here that may not know.
Then I say, go look it up now. It's time to know what is happening.
No, they may not know what it is.
And it's time.
And they may not be in that space.
Right.
In this dispensation, in this
right.
time. Mm-hmm. So, with the entire lecture, what you guys are here to speak about, to assist us with.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you guys can answer this question, one after the other, not too long. Because we only got like 15 minutes before you guys start doing your reading.
Wow, time flies.
What would you suggest for people to do in this time, in this age of and Cheryl knows more about the cosmic alignments and what's going on now, what just happened with all these planets that went into retrograde and the things that we're experiencing among ourselves. What would you recommend for someone to do at this time in this space in order to provide more clarity on actually what's happening
around
what
the journey
aspect?
and the aspects? Some of us are having really difficult times in relationships with other people, communication.
It's a part of the thing is that you have to know that this journey itself is not ordinary. It is supernatural. Stop trying to stop this day and age, and I say to others, if you're listening out there, please stop trying to fit all of this into a regular paradigm. You're born, you do this, you do that, you go to church, you go to work. It's not fitting in that space anymore.
It's bigger than that.
It's bigger than that. And for me, I remember when I started out and everything was flowing to me, because you see, I'm an open vessel. I'm open with my spirit. I'm open to receive the information. That's why when people come around me, they're like, oh, all these signs, all these messages come, because I'm open. If you're not open and you're closed off, then you're not going to receive it. You're going to keep missing the mark. That's what sin is. Sin is not you're being punished. It means it's Aramic. You're missing the mark. I say for those who don't understand the journey, don't try to label whether you're on that path yet. You will be shown that path. Your higher self is always communicating to you. Your higher self is your connection to the divine. You see? Nothing any information I've ever received, it's not because I went looking for it. If I was to look for it in spirit, say, look it up, then I do that. But it's all there.
About people who are not on that path.
And I'm still saying it again. That it's the same thing, because you see, that's another thing why one of the messages, the clear message that I kept getting from spirit is, do not be afraid to speak out about being on that path because someone else doesn't know. It's none of your business how someone else may receive it or they know it. You know how many people I've met and they're like, oh my gosh, I heard you talking. I'm on the same path. I'm in the supermarket. I'm talking. Yeah. I don't care. I be there still talking loud. Yeah. I'm like, oh man.
You might be preparing. Some people who are not on the path, period. They don't want to.
Then it's there if they
choose thing.
Yeah.
But they're going through certain things in their life. What can you provide for them an information in order to what's going on in the universe? Because there are some people that are not going to experience this twin flame thing. This is a very sacred vibration and frequency.
I understand. But the thing is, okay, is if we keep stopping to try to tell the person what it is that's happening for them, then it slows things down. And right now we're at a pace of things speeding up. That's right. I've been bored for 4 years now. Literally, but bored. Waiting for everybody to catch up. It's not for us to keep concerned about who, because when you're asking the question, because the minute when you ask the question, I'm reading the energy, and it's that you're to release it, to let go, whether or not the person understands what their path is. The path is still leading back to source. It's just that it's all in different experiences.
And that's what I was asking.
Yes, we're all having different experiences. But it doesn't mean you don't have to speak out and say, hey, I feel I'm on a twin flame path. You see what I'm saying? Oh, because I'm afraid of what if my twin hears, or you see what I'm saying?
Or you could be on a soulmate path getting ready for
right, could be a divine complement. But either way, we're all in a space, an energy, a vortex of being with who we match with in frequency. In this time, in this space. The event, as people have been talking about, is happening now. It's not where something is going to come out of the sky and say, here we are to save the day. We're here.
But Jesus not coming back?
No, there's no Jesus coming in the clouds. The energy is here with the energy of the Christ consciousness. It's a consciousness. So those who are still waiting and waiting and waiting, are going to keep waiting, because everything is happening now. If you're not experiencing it, if you're not seeing it, what I talk about in the book is, do not judge what another person's path is on. Allow yourself to come through with divine wisdom in knowing that we're all experiencing different things in different perspectives and different levels, and we're not to judge it because the soul is up to something. Even if the person committed a crime or did this, or the president, stop getting all caught up in all of that, because what it does, it takes you off the path.
Okay,
you
so
see?
Simone, what's your birthday?
April 21st.
Okay, go ahead and
From what is my perspective of all that?
She's saying what I'm asking is, everybody does not have a twin flame.
But I'm gonna agree. Hold on. I'm gonna say this. First of all, for me, I still work with the principle we are all one. Like for point blank period, in my mind, we are one energy. So for me, it may not. If I come across knowledge sometimes that may not be directly applicable to my journey, I'm to share it with somebody else, or I'm to guide them in that way. Right. So it's still for me, right? You see what I'm saying? And I'm a believer as if something is brought to you, it's either for you to release it, to heal something, discover something, or it's for you to use on your journey. So it's still beneficial. And I think that it's all those principles, whether you're having that journey or not, can be used for anybody in their walk, because at the end of the day, whether you have signed up for that particular sacred union, we all are a mirror of each other, and we can use those principles to serve us.
Well, and you don't know who you're preparing. So sometimes when you talk like this and they go and research, they're gonna find out. Twin flame 3 days
because I
later.
didn't find out because someone told me.
When you were talking about it, I hadn't met mine yet, but I knew who to go to when I met my twin flame. I was like, Daddy, I gotta go. So yeah, you just have to be
It's amazing that it all started happening for a lot of us around the same time. Within the last 5 years, I don't know if you all noticed this, like
especially 2013, 14.
Mine was happening in 2015, and he just contacted me out of nowhere right after my spiritual
You felt
awakening.
and knew something was going on.
Yeah, I did.
You know, like for me, whenever I go through supernatural stuff, I find it to be so fascinating. I don't go into fear, but everyone responds differently with different things. I know that people who have come in my path, it doesn't necessarily mean it's twin flame, but I know I'm here to change and to help people to shift and to evolve, because we're evolving. And that's where I leave it at. Go ahead, Stephanie.
What about someone who may encounter their twin flame, but they're currently in a relationship, in a marriage? Have you had that experience? Can you speak to that experience?
I have the experience in terms of others who I know that they're twin, and know that all of these relationships that we have is the key to coming into this divine union. So look at it as that person is a version of you, okay? Whether it's they're in the feminine form. And what we're doing is, I was even discussing with Patty that even from my own experience, what I know, because I'm aware with her path, I'm aware with Vieira's path, and other twin, especially feminine ones that are in contact with me, is that we have the what we call the shadow side that represents the masculine, and the shadow side that represents the feminine. So when we think of the masculine side, when it's in the shadow side, what do you think of? The control, the power, egomaniacal, narcissistic, fear, right? And the divine masculine turned away from the feminine counterpart, you see? And so when they turned away from the divine, that's when we descended in consciousness. And then we go to the feminine principle, and those who are in the female body, what I've gone through for myself too, is the ones who are mothers. We're left alone to take care of the kids, and got to work, and this and that. The ones where the cheating concept, where things were secretive and hidden, right? Women, females were raped and all that stuff, right? We gave away our power. We did not speak up. We were in that energy of being shamans, the mermaids, right? The, what they call the fairies, right? The warriors, the Amazon time frame, all these elements of cycles of experiences we have brought, right? Now we're going in reverse. And in order for us to go in reverse, we have to bring in these relationships to heal through that. When I met my twin's girlfriend, and how spirit led me to meet her, not because I called her, hey girl, I got to meet up with you. No. On my way, saw Egypt on a license plate, and when I looked at her, and she was just like me. And I was like, wow, she talks like me, she acts like me. She has her blonde thing in her hair, like everything. And I was at peace with it. I understood it, and I explained what I did to her at the time. And then whatever else is happening, I had to just know that something is leading to something. And when I left from there, I saw union on the license plate. That was like 2-3 years ago. Not on license plate, on a sign, what you call it. You see? And then I went through another version of things to different aspects of the masculine and how it shows up. And what better way to heal thyself is through the relationships. So we're changing the views on marriage. Even when I think of the word marriage, what is it? It feels heavy.
Yes.
It feels heavy.
Yes.
readings that I have been doing for the past several months, whenever the person says, what do I feel? And I say, well, I feel you're going to be connecting with this person. I don't see marriage, but I see a spiritual ceremony. We're changing how we do things. It is not, I repeat, it is not going to look the way how we see it. Look, we're up to God stuff here. And that means that how it was shown to me, again, I'm going to keep steadfast on what Spirit showed me, is that there's different templates of how things started, what we call the return of the Garden of Eden. And it's not fluffy stuff here. This is real stuff.
But we need to hear a little bit from Savon.
Oh, go ahead, y'all. Just listen.
No, I really need your male energy.
Oh, what do you want to hear about?
You're the only man in the room.
Where's your friend?
Oh, they like Edgar, and your child.
I was just listening.
But
I'm finding it interesting,
but Savon, what I want to know from you is from your perspective, as far as unions, relationships, love, and you're saying gender loving, you know what I mean? What do you think that is actually happening at this time in this space about people coming together and knowing who they are in their true selves? Because when I'm asking you this because I know that we're all here to assist each other. But what are we actually going through or happening right now in this space and in this time? And from a male perspective, because every time I hear about the twin flame dynamic, it's always the divine masculine is messing up. You know what I mean? Or the divine masculine is not awake. And the women, we're all sitting here talking about stuff. And I can go back to Asar and Set. I mean, he put himself in a doggone coffin, and she had to put his 14 pieces back together to resurrect him. So I can say that's kind of analogous to that. No, put the 13 pieces back together out of the 14. So from what you know and what Spirit speaks to you, I want Spirit to speak to you now.
Well, I'm gonna be completely honest with you.
Okay.
I'm gonna be 100% honest with you. Certain things that Spirit revealed to me around that journey, I'm not choosing to disclose at this time. I will when I feel the energy is right for it. That's just because, to me, from what I have gotten around that, the sacredness of it is so sacred. It is so divine. It is so not of this world. Right. That level of consciousness is not just to be dropped.
Right.
I hear that from a lot of men.
It's just not to be dropped like that. Because what it's I mean, even with sacred, and forget some of that tantra bullshit they got out there. But even with some of the alchemy and some of the codes and frequencies that are going to be released in those relationships, it's literally going to shift the planet. It's literally going to open access points where there's secret places in the earth that Spirit revealed to me that are, when these unions come together, they're going to be open. They're healing crystals. They are just so much. And I think where we are, a lot of us are just in that state of waking up. Waking up into our power, waking up into our truth, waking up into and discarding a lot of the caca, discarding a lot of things that don't serve us, a lot of the belief patterns that don't serve us. And it's really to a lot of people that are in that, a lot of souls. I'm going to go on a soul level. A lot of souls that are having that journey, they agreed to, were there in the beginning of time in this dimension. And they're saying, okay, we're coming back to this planet. We're going to implement the new way, the new order, and the new process. So these are highly developed souls. Highly developed souls. And even the children that are going to give birth to these
ascended master.
Are they choosing to heal, though?
Huh?
Those souls are choosing to heal?
I'm going to be quite honest with you. And this is my personal belief and what Spirit showed me and our people. I really don't believe you have free will in that sense with these type of unions. I really don't. I feel like we at the point now you're gonna leave this planet, or you're gonna move into alignment.
Yes, right. Absolutely.
That's where I feel like we at. You're gonna either leave this planet, because Spirit was like, okay, you can leave, or you can move into the planet because the assignment is, and you agree to take on a heavy role. Yeah, you agreed to take on a heavy role, and so that's why a lot of us, even with our family, they are in the way. Let them go. Let them friends go. Move that bullshit out the way. Go sit somewhere with spirit. Go get into vibration and alignment and let the universe work as you, through you, and to you. Because the things the spirit show me blow my mind time and time and time and time and time again.
Witness to that. Back around
and they'll come back.
Right.
They'll come
That's
back.
right. Absolutely.
But the ego wants to, what I learned through my experience, the ego wants to fix everything right now. Instead of surrender and say, source. And when I got angry with God, I said, God, I am angry with you because I did everything you asked me to do. And God said, are you still holding on to the vision that I gave you? I said, wow. God said, are you still holding on to the vision? You got caught up in your ego, your pain, your separation, your fear, your doubt and worry, and you forgot the vision. And the vision and the inner voice and the true and the higher self was the thing that was pushing you through all that bullshit.
That's right.
And I need you to vibrate to what I gave you. I said, but God, they don't this and this. I am that I am that I am, and I sent you. I said, okay. And even to the point where the only way I'm going to heal myself is to surrender and to release and to let go and to go on that journey. So I say that goes for twin flame, 9-flame, triple flame, 5 flame, all of no flame. This is a journey of self
0 point
mastery.
0 point.
Well, let me
0
say this.
point.
Because he's been here 5
How you been so wild?
Because I've been around, I've always been around
I
older
know,
people.
he
my
is
whole life.
old. He's an old soul.
Yes.
Yeah.
I just want to say this.
I get hot.
Yeah,
When I
because
go,
you're being filled up. You're
And
being
this is
filled up.
Andrea, he is
Yeah, me too. I get like,
radio as well.
okay.
I'm going to make this as brief as possible.
Brief.
From hearing him speaking and knowing the young lady back there, you have an opportunity at this moment to know this one is chosen.
Yes, he is.
I'm recognizing it from my own eyes because someone else recognized it in me. So I was a little bit young. The path and journey he's speaking about sometimes is not only personal, but community oriented too.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Us.
So I walked into something here that I wasn't actually invited to, but to check on something else.
Oh no, Spirit
So
brought
that's
you right on there.
So thank you.
There are times when, as we refer to some of us, the Almighty does play tricks on you.
Yep.
I've had enough tricks in my lifetime to know when I'm hearing something correct. And I'm going to come from my mother's viewpoint. She raised 6 sons. One of us didn't make it. He died at 3 years old, epilepsy. But what I'm saying to you is I've seen a lot. And I've also served this country. You find a black man that speaks up the way he does. Don't let it go. Don't let it go.
So you spread them around, is what you do.
Well, that's hard to do.
No. But to the other males. Why
No,
not?
but here's
trying to heal.
But here's how this is. I have to explain this to the situation because I spoke to a sister earlier from the Anacostia Church down in Anacostia Park this morning where I play ball. It was a tournament this morning. Sometimes you ladies have to, there are men you can't, some men you can't control. Then there are men of men. And what I mean by that is men that recognize other men that may be beyond them, they will listen. They're not going to listen to the regular Joe.
Right.
And if you ain't from a ghetto hood and you're from the suburbs, they definitely not listening to you. But see, I'm one. I didn't either. Being from Chicago. My mother raised 6 sons. I'm the only one married. I'm the only one that had a grandson. They've never been married, and they don't have any outside children. They are people. As he said earlier, you can't look for it. They continue to keep looking for it.
But that's how men process things externally.
Yeah. Externally,
through what we see, what's presented, what is around. And this is an inner journey. This is an inner process. You got to go within yourself. You see what I'm saying? But there are male, I know a whole bunch of men, and see, we got to start shifting our consciousness. There are men around that are conscious and woke and aware that know what a twin flames are. Yep. They just not being put up to the forefront. And you got to start asking Spirit, send me those people.
Yes.
And that's how
Send me the people that know. Because I know a whole bunch of brothers that are hip and they can give a whole different perspective on this and talk about it. In fact, I'm starting a group that is going to be from the male perspective. And so they're out there. But we have to, thank you, Spirit. We got to stop focusing on everybody else.
But here's the thing.
Yeah, do it real quick.
Go ahead.
This has already been written. It has nothing to do with the children other than they are the most important thing on the planet right now. They are our fruit. It's already been written that black men have to get this whole world together. It has nothing to do really with the systems, the white women. It's really been planted on black men's shoulders. In every Bible it's been written. It's been written. And what I would love to do, what I would really love to do, is maybe get you all on air.
I already had them on there. They've been on my show. These are my folks.
Here's what, that might be so, but I want to expose to the biggest audience there is.
Right. Show me this was going to happen.
That's why I said spread around.
But there's only in today's society, it has nothing to do with putting something on a tree or a telephone pole, trying to get stuff exposed.
No.
It has to come through here now.
The airways, the frequency.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I would love to have the both of you, and maybe a few of you.
Honored.
Yeah. Because see, to me, on the inside, this is a closed session. And it shouldn't be closed.
Oh, we're on Facebook.
It's on live. It's on live.
See, you all are speaking in the maternal. I'm not interested in Facebook. Facebook is not interested in you. It's a play toy to me because really I'm a computer data person for real. The radio was second major. You keep thinking Facebook is something really to expose yourself to. It's nothing.
Oh,
okay then. So expose yourself.
I'm ready. We've been talking about that. Trust
Thank
me.
you. I appreciate
Before we wrap up, Patty.
I appreciate you.
I'll get back to you soon.
It's 5 after 4. And wait a minute, hold on.
Okay, just I know we need to wrap it up. Does anybody have any pertinent questions that can benefit?
But wait a minute, before the questions, because it was something that Tavon told me that he wanted to do when he came here, and I don't know if the energy is right with you right now. But you said you wanted to reveal some things that you felt in ayahuasca.
Oh yeah, I think I talked about a little bit of.
You have, but define what ayahuasca is.
Yes,
and just provide them the information, and then you guys can do your questions and go into your reading.
Okay, so ayahuasca, it's a plant herb that it grows in South America. It really is a journey to self. Really, what I would describe ayahuasca is. I ran for 2 years from having the experience because I knew I wasn't ready. I wasn't ready to face certain things, and so I didn't go. I wasn't one of those people that fool myself into like, oh, this is ayahuasca. Yeah, I was like, cause that will fuck me all the way up. So I was like, no.
So let me just say this: to people that saw Black Panther, you know, when he took that drink and he went and spoke that, that's what ayahuasca is. Illumination. Okay?
Illumination.
Yeah. Through my experience, I talked with Dr. Sabi came to talk to me. I had a lot of angels come to talk to me. I had a lot of different beings from other planets come to talk to me. They gave me how to heal cancer, how to do energy work on this, why I chose my father, why I chose my mother. They have revealed to me when my stepdad was going to die, why he was dying, why I couldn't heal him, what I could do for him, why I chose the journey I chose. What books I was going to write, what I'm here to do on the planet. It really was just me connecting to me, and it felt like all of the mental issues that stopped me from being divine went away. And in that moment, I just was in the sacredness of God. And then when I went to the deep, when I went into into the I want to call it the dark side, but the
deep core.
Yeah, it was like why I had issues with my teeth, why I created certain imbalances in my body temple. I went into all of that, like how it was created from energy, and how do I walk around shifting it. But it really solidified my journey. It really made me like, you can't tell me shit, really. I ain't trying to be like cocky, but like I know what I'm here to do. And also I lost a lot of friendships from having that experience. An entire group of friends are no longer my friends. Because I had a reading after that, and I said, why did I have so much resistance from all the people around me? And the angel reader said, you had to stand in your knowing, and you had to stand in their power, and y'all signed, like Sharon said, they signed up to be your resistance. Yes. And so it was a very, very beautiful. But I want to tell you, like, I think I talked about it a little bit about the twin flame. It's just, I'm not ready to release all that yet. Right. But it's please, if you don't do anything else, be careful who you get a reading from around that. Yes. Because they have you confused. Yes. Be careful with outside knowledge. If it's too commercial, then you probably should leave it alone. Right. Because the sacredness and spirit of something, that is such a sacred, eternal, beautiful concept. It does not belong to you. It is not yours. It is God's gift to you. Yes. Your mate does not belong to you. They belong to God. Right. That journey does not belong to you. It belongs to God. Yes. Remember that. It's not about how good you look or how pretty, how big your boobs are, how big this is, and how big the thing is, and how good the sex is. It's about, thank you. Or if you didn't it is about the sacredness of God being revealed on the earth in this human flesh, transcending every illusion into a space of unconditional love. And it's going to show up in a multitude of ways. Yes. A multitude of ways. Don't get caught up in who don't understand. Don't get caught up in who don't get it. You know within you, and I believe everybody in here is on a journey. I feel that very strongly. Yes. So if you haven't met them yet, you will. Yes. It's a sacred thing. And remember that. Keep it sacred. And get it. You're going to run into pain. Yeah. You're going to run into unhealed aspects of yourself. Don't run from it. And that's one thing Spirit has been working with me. It's all me. All of the baggage, all of the bullshit, all of the pain. It's all me, and I accept every ounce of it. I accept the good days, the bad days, the in-between days, when I'm cursing you out, when I'm putting nasty posts, when I'm love and light, when I'm peace and joy, when I'm drinking my 40, whatever. I embrace all of it. And we gotta, I have to say one thing the Spirit is saying to me. I'm going to try to shut up because I can go. Together. When are we going to accept that we are divine? When are we going to accept that we are divine? Yeah. All of us.
Get rid of that unworthiness.
Keep choosing.
Yeah.
And it's not, and what Tevon always says, it's not what it looks like.
It's not.
It's not what it looks like. It's not what it looks like. I'm done.
So did you come to the point of knowing or choosing healing to get to where you are? Or did you meet your twin flame first? Or did you meet her after?
Everything that I got on my path was brought to me. I was seeking none of it. None of it. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to work on Capitol Hill. and I wanted to like be a civil rights attorney. That's what I wanted to do. Everything came crashing down. I got to the point I couldn't even. I was in army meetings reading meditation books. I didn't want to do readings. It just happened. Everything for me just happened. It just fell into alignment. Yeah.
Well, you know what, you guys, I think most people here to get readings.
Is everyone getting?
Some people are getting readings, some people are not.
But
we're only here till 6 o'clock. So I wanted to make sure that the people who are already prepaid, that they can go ahead and get started with the 20-minute readings. And if you want to get readings, subsequent to that, you can with either Tavon or Sharon. But I'm not a moderator, but I just kind of felt.
Are you a moderator? Come on up here, moderator. Hey, you gotta see the show and move.
Right, you didn't stop us.
We gotta keep going.
Just keep going.
Because I really appreciate your energy. I really appreciate everyone's energy that's here today.
Yeah.
Because we are here to understand who we are in our true selves and to be balanced in this human experience. And sometimes we just kind of get off track because one is up higher than the other. And it's not totally, we don't have my eye that we're really practicing within all of it. So, thank you all for coming.
Thank you so much.
Outside in nature. Sharon is going to do her readings in Studio B, or you can do them here.
I'll just do it right there.
Do you want to do them in Studio B then?
No, he wants to be outside.
I definitely want to be outside.
Okay, all right. So the first people that are going to get readings, Stephanie prepaid.
Yeah.
And
I did as well.
okay, so you prepaid. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's up to you guys how you want to do that.
I don't care.
Okay, so Andrea, you with Tavon or Sharon?
Oh, it don't matter.
Okay, so Sharon, Stephanie, you have an appointment with Tavon, right?
I didn't even know Tavon was applying into this, but I've had readings with Tavon, so I wanted to.
She wanted to share it probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so then Andrea, I guess you can have that 20 minutes, and I'm gonna be timing y'all.
I know you will.
The readings are $40 for 20 minutes.
Thank you so much for all those who are listening and with us here today. It has been such a wonderful blessing. The Holy Spirit is moving us to what we're doing with all these shifts that are happening on the planet. And I know that who was that young man? I'd like to call him a young man. Edgar. That he is inviting us to be on the radio because it's time for us to bring things into a higher frequency with our people, so things can start to continue to shift and to start to continue onward in this manifestation of what we're bringing. I just love all this love. I mean, it's great to reconnect. Oh, yes, I had to be. I had to be. And this is my yay. Powerhouse. So, peace be with you all. You don't have to calm yourself down. That's the thing. Remember, we're not calming anything down.
I'm like, I get hot though.
I love that kind of
Yeah, that might help.
Say greetings, Patty.
Oh,
It's Patty P, my sister.
greetings, everybody.
My soul sister. Pain in the ass sometimes.
I know,
But
right?
we just bring it together no matter what, because this is what love is,
That's
you
what
know?
it is.
That's right, I'm hot. We'll be back.
Okay, you can
It is? No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
So, anyway, it's another young lady. Finally met her in person. Thank you so much.
Great information.
Ready for me now?
Yes.
All right. See, this is a goddess. Ooh. All right. Love it. Anyway, thank you so much for joining us, ladies and gentlemen, young and old and far and wide.
Okay.
Love you.
Okay, 3, 2, 3.
Oh, you in LA?